There are three key components that define Knoll's approach to seating: thoughtful design, comfort, and choice. Sitting in front of me is the Chadwick chair. It has a progressive look and simplified ergonomics. Now, back to thoughtful design. The Chadwick chair was designed by Don Chadwick, who has over 30 years of industrial design experience and a legacy of designing highly recognizable and successful task chairs. The Chadwick chair really is an evolution of his experience in ergonomic design. Don wanted to refine and redefine the task chair. He wanted to design a chair that provided superior ergonomic support without the complication of numerous levers and complicated manual adjustments. And Chadwick really is just that. It's elegant and simple, yet sophisticated and advanced. Also critical to thoughtful design is workplace research. Prior to the introduction of this chair in 2005, Knoll conducted research with our global research team that found that 80% of spaces were dedicated to individual workstations and the remaining 20% to collaborative space. And that 5 years from that time, there would be a shift. And that shift would be 60% dedicated to individual workstations and the remaining 40% to collaborative space. So the Chadwick really is designed for dual use. It's a hybrid, so to speak, that works both in individual as well as collaborative spaces. So it can accommodate the changing needs of the workplace. Our research also found, and not a surprise to anyone, is that space comes at a premium and that footprints are decreasing in size. The Chadwick, inherent in its design, has a smaller outer footprint but a very generous interior. Just looking at it, you can tell it's a very unobtrusive chair. Finally, the Chadwick's efficient use of materials, ease of assembly, make it both environmentally friendly and price competitive. Since its inception, it has been a quality performer for Knoll. Now I'd like to transition into comfort. Comfort for Chadwick really equates to ease of use and responsive support. Chadwick is comfortable because it responds to body's movements throughout the day, supporting the different ways you work. To demonstrate this, I'm going to sit in the chair. So one of the first things you should do when you sit in the chair is make sure that the height of the chair, generally speaking, your legs are parallel to the floor. The next critical adjustment is the tension adjustment, which is very key for the active suspension technology, which is really comprised of two main components: the Chadwick fabric, which is a woven, high-performance elastomeric fabric, and the advanced synchronized tilt on the chair. When you sit down, the Chadwick's fabric transfers the weight into the frame of the chair, which then engages the mechanism. So when the tension is adjusted properly, there's a slight bounce to the chair. When you sit back, the chair responds to your lower back movements and it moves with you. When you recline, the seat drops down without the front edge rising, preventing pressure under your thighs. And the seat depth actually expands, promoting circulation. And then when you sit upright, the chair contracts to support your working position. When you sit forward and perch, the chair automatically goes into 3 degrees forward tilt, giving you natural lumbar stability and support. The Chadwick fabric conforms to your back and supports it. The back height hits you where you need it. So, for example, if I'm sitting informally in the chair, it's low enough for me to actually put my arm over it, but yet it's high enough to support my shoulders and the back. The Chadwick chair is just right for task and conference. The Chadwick also offers a tilt stop, and I'm going to turn the position of the chair. This allows the user, by pulling it out, to lock the chair upright. There's still a little movement, which actually is very good from an ergonomic perspective. You have about 2 degrees worth of movement backwards and 3 degrees worth of forward movement. Now, let's talk about the arms. There's 3 arm options: armless, fixed height arms, and adjustable. The arms are simply adjusted with a ratcheted design. Simply raise the arm to the highest position, they disengage and lower all the way to the bottom. You can raise them in half-inch increments, a total of 5 positions for 2.5 inches of overall height adjustment. The arm pad is flexible and supportive. It's also very simple and elegant, like the design of the Chadwick chair. These two can be adjusted width-wise. You have about 1 inch worth of adjustment on each arm for 2 inches of total width adjustment. The last thing I want to talk about is choice. The Chadwick is a distinct aesthetic within the Knoll seating portfolio, and there's also choice within that Chadwick line. It can stand alone or complement other Knoll seating applications. The Chadwick fabric is offered in both warm and cool neutrals. Not only is there variety in aesthetic, but there's variety in versions of the chair. You're looking at the standard task version. There's also a high task version, which is commonly used in banking as well as healthcare laboratory environments. Now, when talking from a healthcare perspective, it's very important to talk about the fact that we hired a third party and they tested the most commonly used healthcare applications and cleaning agents for the chair, one of which is a diluted bleach solution. They tested it on both the fabric as well as the frame, and it did not compromise the integrity of the chair one bit. The Chadwick chair offers progressive looks with simplified ergonomics, which are perfect for not only individual applications, trading applications, collaborative areas, conference room, and healthcare applications. In summary, Chadwick exhibits thoughtful design, comfort, and choice.